Before we begin, let's do some thanks, everybody. Giro Sport Design people, the OGs of helmet design. I'm going to ruin every cool old phrase. Like, I'm going to say bro a lot to ruin bro for people. And so Giro is the OG of helmet design. If it weren't for Giro, we'd all be wearing salad bowls on our heads, people. Giro revolutionized the helmet industry and has since continued the greatness in not only brain buckets, but in some of the finest cycling footwear out there. Trust us, Trek Jackson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get
Great
to Giro.
shoes.
Get to Giro.com today and tell them Packfiller sent you. Next, Scratch Labs, people. Best flavor, ingredients, and variety for sports nutrition out there. Hands down. Check out the brilliant cookbooks and constant new flavors and methods to get you to the finish. Your stomach will thank you on the next long ride. Use Scratch Labs link at packfiller.com. And finally, Gooder Sunglasses, people. A kind listener informed me the other day that the code still works.
Wow.
The code still works, folks. If you're on the fence, use Packfiller 15 today. Great value, great product, non-slip, all polarized style for your face. Thanks to Gooder. And I guess we should probably get on with it, right? Shouldn't we? Yeah, we should probably get on with it.
Those new shoes are really cool.
They're pretty crazy. They're super
freaky
comfortable.
light.
Yeah, they are crazy light.
They're going to be cold until like July, though.
Yeah, but he has this other pair of like scuffed up nasty shoes that he can wear for
That's
all
true.
Yeah, which I probably won't use.
I was going to say, when do you guys throw out shoes?
I still have my old pair of S-Work shoes because I'm like, they're so nice.
Yeah.
But like maybe if it was a bad day, I'd wear those. But every single bad day, I just still wear my favorite shoes.
I still want...
Yeah.
I still have all my old shoes. Like, I still have a pair of Giro lace-up road shoes.
Wow.
And I won't get rid of them.
Do.
I have a pair of Deados on the way. I'm the only person at this bar who probably knows what Deados are.
Deados?
David, you know what Deados are?
No idea.
Okay. Deados are old... Well, I'll have to show them to you. Big thanks to Gabriel Benjamin, the one and only Yoga for Cyclists guy. He's sending me a pair because he knows I'm an idiot. Hey, everybody, let's do this. Bike racing is back. Bike racing is back. Controversial positioning is back. What's the difference? Not much. The rules are being stretched, and we're technically only a day into the season. Speaking of rules, welcome to the podcast with a host that tries to only drop 3 F-bombs per episode. I'm turning over a new leaf. Welcome to the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. I'm Pat Bulger. The average age of the podcast has dropped for the second show in a row. I'm feeling like I should have black socks and sandals on. Let's see who's here, shall we? When I introduce you, gentlemen, please respond with an answer to the following question. You have black socks and sandals on? Holy shit.
It's so perfect.
Holy shit. Hey, get off my lawn. The question for the show is, where's the strangest place you have ever fallen asleep? Strangest place you have ever fallen asleep. So let's start with the introductions. Paul? Nope. That jerk is on his way home from Palm Desert, and he neglected to tell us that he was, quote, turning a decade older, end quote, while he was gone. So prepare for next week's belated celebration. If you have a story or birthday greeting for us to embarrass Paul with, I am going to put out my personal email, patrick@packfiller.com. Send us embarrassing stories about Paul. We want to throw him under the boat, under the bus, through the ringer. What are those older things when he returns? So first off, he's the most masochistic guy on the show in terms of riding style, diet, and neglect for proper bourbon, Mr. Sam Waples. How are you, man?
He's just as bad.
I haven't introduced him yet.
So
he's the noob.
Man, yeah, easily comes to mind. So we have, massage table at home, right? And so there was one day when
Kinky?
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, when you're in the, PT world.
Whatever, Sam.
It's pretty standard equipment.
Never let you sleep at night.
So I am working on the house and out working in the lawn. It's summer, hot day, our basement, so cold. Go downstairs and I just lay down on this massage table face down. I wake up and I have been drooling through that face hole. And I'm like, I don't know what day it is, what month it is. I'm like, I just feel so relaxed. And I get up and there's just like a pool of drool underneath this thing. Fortunately, it's concrete floors down there. Like it's, just, it was amazing.
It's like spilling oil on the concrete.
Oh,
though.
God.
It's just a permanent state.
Oh, there, forever there. Yeah, but greatest nap of my life. But such a weird place to fall asleep. Just
Were you
face
missed? I mean, was your wife outside
No, she was-
waiting
it
for you
was
to go
like-
get the shovel or something?
Yeah,
like
it was
that?
the perfect like time when COVID had hit,
Okay.
and so I wasn't really working, so I was just doing a lot of house projects, and so she was at work. I just took like I don't even know how long it was. It might have been asleep for like 2-3 hours. Like I was gone.
So it wasn't. Was it like a just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and the next
Yeah.
thing? Or okay.
I was like, oh, this
okay.
is comfortable. Like stretching out, my back from being bent over for
Yeah.
so long, like laying face down,
Yeah.
and then just
Wow.
waking up.
Okay. Next, he's the new guy to the show. He's our in-house doc, and he's the only person to come face to face with Q. Mr. David Waples. How are you, man?
I'm good.
Q is the guy I talked to. I refer to that asshole who tried to run you off the road.
I was wondering who Q was.
He's QAnon.
That's cute.
He thinks he's Q.
He is an asshole.
Wouldn't that be funny if Q was actually that fucker? Oh, there's one.
Oh,
God.
There we go. Oh, we all drink? Is that?
you just want to drink.
David's
We'd
gonna
be,
make-
we'd be dead if we'd been doing that up to this point.
Yeah.
Everybody'd have liver failure.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Welcome to board.
Thank you.
Have you ever fallen asleep? Oh, you're a doctor who works night shifts sometimes. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
fall asleep in a.
I actually can fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
Been known to do that for a long time. In medical school, one of my best friends started a like an Instagram page of naps by David, and it was just pictures of me falling asleep in anatomy lab and in front of professors. And,
Oh shit!
Yeah, so I can definitely fall asleep, especially in a lecture. I think the best one was probably middle school math, where I actually got up, laid down in the back of the room on a binder. I don't know how long I was out before the teacher noticed, but when she noticed, she'd had enough and immediately went to call my mom. And so she like grabs the phone. Back in the day of corded phones.
Yeah.
Goes into the closet, the supply closet, to like talk to my mom while I'm waking up. And I guess just because it was middle school and I had just woken up, I just walked over, unplugged the cord, plugged it back in, and sat back down. She never even knew what happened. She just came back out and was like, "Well, I'm just gonna call her after school. Something happened with the phone." So, anyways, I'm pretty notorious for falling asleep in school, and then after almost every big dinner, I go and fall asleep on the ground. So.
That's a standard, David. It's like eat, go face down on the ground, and just like arms back.
Well, if you pick too comfortable a position, you'll oversleep.
Yeah.
So you gotta be a little awkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just comfortable enough for 20-30 minutes.
That's self-discipline.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
In a
that's serious.
masochist way.
Yeah, and with how much sleeping you've been through your education, Dr. David Waples, everybody. Excuse me, doctor. Do you know what you're doing? Sure.
Yeah,
Might have
sure.
slept that, Dave. Screw it.
I remember half of the lecture.
Yeah.
The important half.
He's the reason our social media isn't just pictures of Bernardino, Sean Kelly, and random glasses of alcohol. Mr. Jackson Bolger, how are you, man?
Good, thanks.
I thought of a compliment, but I went a little generic tonight, and I apologize.
Oh no, it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the strangest place you've fallen asleep, Jackson?
Let's see. I don't fall asleep often in like weird places, but I think the one weird place, well, it wasn't a weird place, but the circumstance was weird. So I have fallen asleep in my freshman year dorm room. However, 4 other people were also in the room watching the Disney movie Moana. So everyone's like, "How'd you fall asleep during that? Like, that's the best Disney movie." But I was like,
Oh, good God.
You just get a little too warm and a little too comfortable, and then you just out.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
In college.
In college.
Hey,
What are
let's
you
all
doing?
get together and watch Moana. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're going to watch Scarface, and we're going to drink every time he drops an F-bomb.
Yeah, but when you go to a Catholic university,
I went to Gonzaga University. It's a Catholic
yeah,
university.
but I lived in the dorm where everyone's like, "Why is it so quiet here?"
Oh,
You know,
okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not that great of a story. I don't really I fall asleep in my own bed.
Yeah.
More often than not. I've never fallen asleep in a
So
class.
normal.
Never fell asleep in anything like that.
Don't you just...
I know.
you just-
He'll mess up someday.
I know.
We'll scrutinize him
I'm
for
waiting
it.
in the wings. Me, I'm the guy who hates the fact that he's feeling better after doing, quote, dry January, end quote.
4 days.
As I
is-
burp my beer.
Yeah, 4 days is dryish.
Technically this is 17 days, but I have had a beer on obviously show nights. And last week I had a beer and a half. While one of you guys were talking, I went over and put another half in there. and my whoop score dropped. Like, it was not good. It was like back down to like medium. Well, and I'm paranoid now. I'm terrified. This is another thing for me to worry about.
Well, you know what you can do now is you can prepare for an event, and then the night before you just don't drink,
Yeah.
Just
and then
that
you're
one night.
fine.
Just that one.
That checks out.
As long as
Yeah.
see, as long as you see a green number on the phone, whatever experts say,
That day.
doesn't matter.
Right?
Never matters.
Yeah. My liver
God,
could be
I
like
wish.
my liver could be like one of those eggs in a jar in a British pub.
And as
But-
long as your phone says at least above 69, it is above 69.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Okay. There we go then. I guess I'm just gonna not.
Problem solved.
I have lost 5.5 pounds in 2 weeks. Though.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
great.
Yeah. It's freaking
It
me
sucks.
out. It's freaking me out. I am like you, David. I can fall asleep anywhere. I've always made the joke that if somebody held a gun to my head and demanded I fall asleep, I could do it.
Yeah.
And if, it's like, I'm going to shoot you in 3 minutes if you don't fall asleep. I'm like, no problem.
I'm out.
Good night.
Yeah. I can do it.
been
And my
waiting for
wife
this.
hates me for it. My wife hates it because I can just do it anywhere. And one year we did the Hood to Coast relay run. It's from Mount Hood to the coast. And it is it's a long freaking run. And you're on teams, and each team rents 2 vans because you need half the team on one half of the course. Anyway, we had this huge kind of passenger van, like 12, 14 passenger van, whatever they are. And we were driving along the road, and I didn't have to run for a while. So I got on the floor and wedged myself through, kind of wove myself through the seats themselves and the armrests, and I mean the on the ground on the bottom of this, and I slept for like 4 hours, and my wife hated me for it.
Invest 4 hours of your life.
Yeah, I do remember waking up somebody at some point saying, "Where's Pat?" My wife's like, "He's under the seats, sleeping." I'm like,
That level of fatigue, though, like with a race event,
Oh, yeah.
is just, you can sleep anywhere.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I can remember sleeping in the back of David's truck in a McDonald's parking lot. There's some photo of it where you're in the back in his boxers, there's a guitar, and I'm like feet up, like from a chair, like up onto the tailgate, and we're just passed out,
Yep.
drooling.
I remember that one.
there's
Yeah.
a lot to picture in that image you just painted for me.
I'll pull up the picture.
Boxers,
It doesn't-
guitar.
Yeah,
Ro-
Yep. I fell asleep playing the guitar.
playing the guitar in his boxers. Yeah.
We were in the McDonald's parking lot. Tailgate's down.
It's down. David's in the back.
We had a camping chair.
I was in the camping chair.
Felt the desire to
You know.
sing,
Goes
Yeah.
up to like
play a little
mid-back.
ditty.
Yeah, it was horrible. When I woke up, my back was jacked.
I would imagine.
Imagine.
David, give us some background for the people who don't know you yet. I have 6 short questions. Number 1, years of racing bikes.
Years of racing bikes. Second, I think I started in second year of college. At some point, I realized I needed to put Sam back in his place. I think it was second year of college. So 8 years now.
8 years.
8
Okay.
years,
Yeah.
Okay. How many bikes do you currently own?
Road bikes.
Not enough.
Bikes total.
All bikes.
Mhm, all bikes.
Well, there's probably six and
6.
one on the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations! It's like a baby
Yeah.
announcement.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
What's it going to be?
It's gonna be a time. The
Are
Alpe
you
d'Huez.
really cool.
really?
Yep. It's gonna be
Awesome.
pretty sweet.
I don't know enough about the
Alpe
the one
d'Huez?
they're
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it an Alpe d'Huez?
Alpe d'Huez. Yep.
Yeah.
Built up with
SRAM axis force with disc brakes, and then it'll just be force cranks and everything.
Reynolds wheels.
Wow.
Reynolds wheels.
Really?
NV bars.
I'm gonna keep my NV bars. I really like my NV bars. So, and stem.
What is it that makes? I'm already jumping the ship. What is it that makes, like you said, you like that particular brand of bars? What is it about it that makes them?
Well, I don't know if it's NV particularly, but the bar is like narrow on the top. Like I think it's a 40, and then it goes to a 42.
Oh,
down
it flares a
Yeah,
little
the
bit. Okay.
NG,
Just a
well, the way that they the ergonomics of those is just incredible.
It's
Like,
not like the gravel ones where
no,
it like
Yeah.
goes
where it's
way
just
out.
like
Oh,
cowbell.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's not like that.
to hold my bag.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's got the flat tops.
Ah.
So you
Yeah.
Okay.
put your arms,
Oh, okay. So you can puppy paw even though
Puppy
it's
paw.
illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
I'm still doing it.
Preferred racing style: road, mountain, gravel.
Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Preferred terrain of road racing.
Oh, like hilly or flat?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Hilly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rolling hills though, right? Like not like you wouldn't want to do
Oh,
like
yeah, not
mountain
like a
days.
No, like it's got to have a good climb.
Yeah, but you're
So I
like a
can leave
10, you're
sand.
like a classic like 10 to 15 minute hill power climber.
So someone's like a 10, 15 minute climb. We drop Sam. We keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's one for you.
Yeah.
By the way, for the I'm drinking
This
to
is,
that.
I'm gonna lose tonight. I'm gonna be ending up wearing.
Yeah,
the
for those of you
Viagra
not in the
jersey.
know, these guys are brothers and they love hate each other. Could we say that?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
You late
And it
each
just
other.
depends on what we're doing. You
Yeah.
know where that love hate is.
Yeah. Item you really want to save up for cycling. Well, although you just bought a bike, so
bike.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have nothing now.
Yeah, I've got everything I need.
I pre-wrote the question, so never mind that. Number 6, Reader's Digest version of The Asshole Who Tried to Kill You.
Reader's Digest version?
That's for those of you who are
Oh, I really
young.
like
That's
the
like a
idea.
short version.
I really like the idea that he is Q.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense to me,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
checks out.
great.
Yeah.
You know, is there like a shirt called a dog beater? 'Cause, like,
I don't like your wife beater.
Wow, that really like rounds up the whole story.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
I don't.
Yeah, that you really hit the nail on the head.
So if you could come up with a shirt that we would call a dog beater, that would be him.
Okay.
Wow.
I say we should move along.
Yeah, he nailed it.
You guys, how's training going? How'd the last week of training go for anybody? Jackson, you want to jump into this realm
Sure.
first and tell us how many thousands of watts you've hit?
Let's see. Well, I kind of talked about a good amount of it when we were talking about it last week. So really the only thing that I've done differently was I rode on Wednesday. I think I did. It feels like forever ago. And then I did some weight training on Sunday. And then I did a Zwift workout yesterday. And everything's going well. Yeah. I think that once the outside hits, that's when I'll really like be able to tell fitness levels, because right now it kind of feels like everything inside feels a little bit sluggish, you know, just everything's overheated, everything's next to a litter box, like all that type of stuff, you know?
Sure.
Yep.
So, but it's been going well. I'm actually training, but I kind of lost motivation to train for anything recently.
Really?
Yeah. With the changing of dates, and this is by no means at all on the race coordinators whatsoever, but with our local race being changed to a July date, I can no longer race that race. So that kind of immediately put my motivation right into the ground.
We're gonna touch base on that here shortly, but
Yeah.
a
Little preview.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So our local stage race went from May
Went from May to September to now July.
Now July, and it's the week after you get
It was May last year.
Yeah. And that was perfect, honestly. I mean, we did have the road race from hell.
It was cold. It was
And
bad. man.
raining
Oh,
and-
it was
and
snowing.
side
It
wind.
was freaking snowing.
There was slush on the
Sorry.
ground.
Wasn't there
Yeah.
like also lightning and thunder at some point, or there was just like warnings of that? Yeah.
But I podiumed.
Yeah, Jackson
So
got
I'll
second.
take that.
matter.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have cramped, he would have won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, difficult
So-
to find any.
So your motivation's crap. You need some ketones.
Are we? No. Are we like?
Yeah. We have
Yeah.
ketones on the bar tonight, and we're going to
Oh my
touch base on
God.
this.
I'm
here.
not cramp.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's good
that's
to
what you
know.
need.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I need a full explanation of this stuff in my studio, and when the cops are going to come and arrest us all.
When we're doing illegal things.
the French
It
police
does
show
look
up.
like that, right?
I'm sorry, monsieur. You are now under arrest. Because that's what French sound like. They are all, and they have tiny little cigarettes in their mouths. Sam, how'd your training going?
Actually, I had to pull out my phone to double check, but I
saw
did.
that.
Yeah, 6 days last week. I only took Thursday off since last time we met. Yeah.
Come on.
I know, which I was thinking today. So I did my ride this morning, 45 minutes. I've been picking up tempo, just trying to get more tempo time in, because I've done quite a bit of intensity the last few weeks. And so the last like solid week, I've done a lot of tempo, and I was like, riding up to work today on my bike, and I was like, man, my legs hurt just like slogging along up
Really?
the hill. And I was like, I don't think I've really taken a day off. And I just took Thursday off last week. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You're still counting that commute as a training day?
You suck. No.
Are you?
No. No.
A
Check
little
my
pedal to work.
Strava.
Just running around the
Oh
living
my
room with
God.
the Strava on.
I feel like binded right now by the F word piece, and then also like the
This
fact
was-
that my parents are probably listening
this
to
is
this.
your idea. You
This-
started
I
this
know.
shit. Yeah.
I was thinking this is the perfect storm. It's like
Yeah.
we have this, and then now my brother's on the
Yeah.
show. It's like,
You're
why
in-
couldn't he be on previously?
Yeah.
And then I could have just swore at him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like when we go out for bike rides together.
Do you swear in front of your parents? Do you guys swear in front of your parents?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's usually me.
Really?
Yeah. I usually walk in and just right out of the gates of like walking through the front door. It's a
Oh, okay.
F you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then he gets in trouble with Kinsey.
And then I get in trouble with Kenzie, my wife, and then I get in trouble with my mom. Sent to timeout.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
David, talk to me about your training. One of our questions that we put this out there, and because we knew you were coming, and we were like, this guy slept through a lot of his classes. Let's see what he knows. No, about your time and how you fit training it. So how's it going?
Well, I I think winter for me usually is like the most efficient because
Really?
in the summer I'm not going to go out for a 30-minute bike ride, but I'm not going to get on the trainer because it's too nice outside. And so I think I end up riding
Binge
days.
riding.
Yeah, I binge ride. Like I'll go out for like a huge weekend, and
Oh.
then I can't walk. So like right now, coming home and being like, I have 30 to 45 minutes before I need to do something else. It's very like it works very well for me. So I just ride like, I mean, I did an hour once this year so far, but like 30,
Wow.
30
You know
to
what?
45 minutes.
You're just cranking out the short and sweet kind of things.
Yeah,
Okay.
like 2-minute warm up.
Yeah.
And you go hard, 2-minute cool down.
He's like somewhere between Jackson and I, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm going to start when I want to start. Because you didn't even start until like 3 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I lost my mojo after Q ran me off the road.
Yeah.
Fucking Q.
Yeah.
You.
But it came back, so.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like
Dog
he's,
beater.
he's like, I'm gonna start when I want to start. But then he's like, pretty regimented about it. It's just like less quantity. But what sucks is that I guarantee you when we get out on the road, he's still gonna be faster. and
Oh
I'm
God,
like,
you're all going to be faster than me, and
Yeah.
it's gonna, again, I'm the victim.
I was actually reading the other day about how 30 minutes you can make gains, not just like sustaining fitness into the spring, but you
Yeah.
can make gains in the winter riding 30 minutes a day.
Carmichael wrote the book, The Time Crunch Cyclist, and he includes entire training programs in it,
Yeah.
based upon like 6 to 7 hours a week tops.
That's great because I would rather put my head in a wind turbine than stay on that trainer for more than 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
wow, I don't. Yeah.
I agree. It's terrible.
I did.
It's peaceful
I did
for me.
3 hours on the trainer Saturday.
One day?
One day.
No, that's too much.
Yep. I got 5
Hour and a
days.
half,
5
hard
days in
stop.
this week. 5 days in this week. Saturday I was going to do a race, but strangely enough, Chris Carmichael posted an article about Zone 2 training, and I was like, you know what? I haven't been doing a lot of Zone 2. I've been doing a lot of intervals and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm gonna go hop on the trainer.
And Paul sending.
Oh, that had a huge thing to do with it.
Yeah.
That Paul being in Palm Desert, just putting his feet up by the pool and
Saying,
saying, I got 80 miles in today.
3.5 hours in zone 2.
Oh, it's my birthday too, and so I was like, I'm going to do 3 hours on the trainer, and so every 30 minutes I got off and I did squats and back and shoulder strengthening exercises because I'm doing my homework.
Way to go.
And so I ended up doing about 600 squats in that amount of time. 3 hours on the bike, and there we go. And so this weekend I got about 105 miles in on the bike in 3 days. But Martin Luther
Wow.
King weekend.
I'm going to tell you right now. That is like a fourth of what I've ridden the
But I have
entire
to.
year.
I have to. If I don't, you will go ride for a week and a half, and you will dust me. No, I mean it's the reality of life, and I have to. And like Paul and I said, if we don't keep up on it, there's no point. We might as well just throw our bikes into the dumpster like Daniel LaRusso. It's just there's no point in it. So, and this stupid non-drinking thing, which really enrages me, is working. Recovery's great. Heart rate's lower. Sleep is better. Apparently, people say my skin looks better. I had a student tell me today I look like Colin Farrell from the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I looked at that kid and I went, first of all, you crossed the line, kid. Second of all, how many extra credit points do you want?
Yeah.
Speaking of Zwift, have you guys heard about the Zwift increase? This ominous Zwift price increase. How many of you guys are riding the pay plan?
I just
Well,
stared
doesn't
Are you guys all free?
Doesn't everybody?
Oh, wait,
for
Zwift is free?
Not Zwift.
No.
Sorry, not Zwift. Shoot.
Strava?
Strava. How many of you guys pay for
Increase?
Strava?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do?
Yeah.
So do I. So you?
I pay for Strava.
We all pay for Strava. It has been this mystery surrounding Strava, this price increase. Some areas of the world are going up as much as 50 to 75%. Some areas are going up, like for us here in the States, I don't know about you guys, I think we pay $59.99 a year if you're paying the yearly price. That's going to go up to at least $79.99 a year, but they aren't really explaining why. There's this huge mystery, and correct me if I'm wrong. DC Rainmaker has a great video out on YouTube, and I was watching it last night, and he's in constant contact with Zwift, sending them Strava, sending them emails trying to say, hey, I understand that prices go up, markets change, things like that. What are you going to charge? And they will not give him a specific answer. He lives in the Netherlands with his wife, who is Dutch, I think, and her monthly price has not gone up because she registered as Dutch and he registered as an American, and his price has gone up like 30%, which means it's
sketchy.
all over the place.
So they're already starting to charge more.
It's starting to incorporate, as you will see it. The rumors are you will see it 30 days before your renewal pops up.
Man, if that's the case, I'm canceling.
I went on.
Like, what are they? Because my thought is like, I understand like inflation.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but what is inflating for them? Like, what's costing them more?
Yeah,
money?
is it satellites? Is it access to this kind of stuff? I
mean, they were free for so long.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are still paying. Are not paying.
And then you want to find out your heart rate, and that's what makes you, or like your wattage, and that makes you pay. I find that weird.
I would just pay for there's Light Cheetah is one of them that's like you can just download all your information onto, and it gives you a whole spit out of what was your 20-minute power, all that stuff.
Ride with GPS.
I find that really
is a great app.
I find that really strange, especially with such a strong increase, that I find that you need some sort of something added. Because when you add that amount of money to a yearly charge, I don't know. That's a really weird,
That's
weird thing that they're doing.
30%. That's a 30% price spike for
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And $70, I would pay $70 for a Zwift yearly thing, or like a Trainer Road or an RGT type of situation. But for a service that just is showing me what I did, I don't know if,
and literally giving me a crown.
Yeah, see, I feel like they are going to lose people that are wanting to purchase, especially, let's say, people my age looking to, like in bike racing, it's already expensive enough. I don't need to pay $70 more to bike race.
Yeah.
When I could really just look on my Wahoo file and see all of them.
79, so you're 80. I mean, that's the minimum of what you're very likely going to go
And
up.
if you own a computer already, which in this day and age you already do, you're going to be able to see all that information right there, and then out of nowhere, Strava becomes a thing of the past. I think it's not a good idea.
And the interesting thing about DC Rainmaker, what he had stated in he says, I will pay for the price increase because he uses it, for example, testing out equipment and wattage and things like that. He says his wife, who's on a monthly plan, he says they'll drop it. So Strava makes, let's say, $30 more a year from him, but they lose $10 to $12 a month from his wife. So they gain $30, but they lose $120. That's a flawed business model.
Yeah.
So I personally don't feel they should ever have given it. They should have had it free for 60, 90 days, whatever it is. And then it should be a monthly fee.
Yeah.
But I think,
like 60 was like, I could reason with 60 'cause it was like almost like you're being a part of like a club. You can communicate on it and stuff like that. And that's kind of cool, like flipping through. But I'm like, well, I can do that for free.
yeah.
Like I was paying it because I'm like, oh, I support what you guys are doing. But if they're just pay increasing and it's like, okay, but what are we getting from it?
Yeah.
There's not any new stuff coming out.
I also think it's weird that they aren't really telling anybody about it.
Yeah, they're
It's like-
being very hush-hush about it.
It's like when Netflix is like, oh, we're going to continue, we're going to get people off of the password sharing.
Yeah.
And then we are a year and a half later and everybody's still password sharing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
But the good news, there's no more Adam Sandler movies.
well, Uncut Gems I feel like could be on there.
That's a good movie. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm talking about the ones he
50
made
First Dates.
for Netflix.
Oh.
The ones he made for Netflix,
Oh.
which were just like.
Happy Gilmore.
Have you ever heard my theory on Adam Sandler?
No.
He has two roles. One where he talks like Adam Sandler and he's a tough guy, or the other one where he talks like this for the entire movie. And that's it. That's the entire Adam Sandler catalog.
I never thought
Do
I'd
you have a
defend
problem?
Adam Sandler. However,
Oh, I'm Adam Sandler.
do you fit into a specific role as a theater guy? You would fit into a specific role, right?
No.
I'm obviously
I am a
leading.
chameleon, man. I
I'm
can do everything.
Obviously, a
He's an
leading man.
actor. He's not a role player.
Right.
Actor. Oh yeah, cycling. This is touching base on Jackson's concept about our race being rescheduled, which we can't bash the people who are putting the race on. I mean, we love this race. We love the people who are putting it on. The ODZ team here locally. Got a buddy of mine, Mike Surratt's the main USAC contact behind that race. Great. I mean, bike racing in July, thank God. To be honest, I'm not going to lie. Thank God, because the middle of the season in this region just dies. It's gone. We get fall and spring and nothing. But there's been a little controversy. Jackson's getting married the week before, and he's going to be on his honeymoon afterwards. So we all need to change our plans and completely change the race and pick it outside their offices until they change it.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
So there's been conversation about the one and only. My beer's empty. Tour de Bloom.
Fill it up.
I sipped.
No, fill it up.
I sipped. But the Tour de Bloom, we've been talking about doing that. We've been talking about things like that. I want to talk to you guys about the race season, if you have any great plans or anything on the horizon. And I also want to talk to something Jackson brought up, the idea of this training camp, this long weekend training camp. It's not racing, obviously, but have you guys ever done something like this with a team or with a group? And you can't just say you and your brother.
Yeah, it was training camp.
Just the two of you?
Yeah, it was when I had just graduated from college, and I had took 2 weeks in February. I was down there for a minute.
2 or 3, I don't remember.
It was a while. And I went down to San Luis Obispo, and David was going to school and then just sleeping through school, so that, we could party through the night and ride hard through the day.
Yeah.
But no, we
think
did.
That's a Kiss song.
Yeah, but we rode most days.
Oh yeah, I mean that was.
There was only a couple days where I rode. I either took them off or rode with some of your friends. You were like, go entertain my brother.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
he had some tests or something like that. They had
Things
to
you
do.
can't sleep through.
But no, so I mean that's the only training camp that I've ever done, which is funny because there's been other training camps that teams have done. Like when we were on Monton, the last team, they did Mallorca. Actually,
wow.
The whole team went over there and did Mallorca for a week. And
Holy moly!
yeah.
A lot. Wow.
Yeah.
But it's actually really cheap to get there. Really cheap to get there.
Wow.
And they all rented bikes there. Crazy cheap to rent bikes there because so many people go there to train. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm getting off on a tangent.
No, that's cool.
We've only done that one, and we haven't done any of the other ones. You didn't do any.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all with
The beer guys didn't do.
no, they never. They always went to Arizona. Well, see, the problem is I was always poor.
Yeah,
And everybody.
Well, that's a big thing about it
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Everybody went to Arizona, Mallorca, something, And in college, I was living in California, so I didn't need a training camp.
Yeah.
I just would, people wanted to come to me. That was great, like Sam did.
Yeah.
And then we would ride a bunch. But
I mean, there have been a lot of times where I've been thinking, because I'm a teacher, I get spring break off every year, and it's like, I got, and I kind of had good intentions every year. I've done some riding, but nothing major, like a hardcore training week. But I've never been on a team that went. When I was younger, I took advantage of the United States Cycling Federation back then, and I lived at the Olympic Training Center, and at a given point in time, we actually spent at least a month, at a hotel in Fresno, this resort in Fresno, and the entire national team rode all around that area and stuff like that, and it was, probably because it was freezing cold in Colorado Springs is why we did it, and all I knew was I was a junior, and it's just like, hey, you're going to come live at the training center, but first you're coming to Fresno. And so my parents bought me a ticket to Fresno, and so we spent at least 4 to 5 weeks there, and it was kind of cool.
What would that be like?
Yeah,
living in Fresno.
Yeah, and just
Not a lot.
riding a bike. I mean, because that was something I never did as a kid. We did soccer camps and stuff, right? 'Cause, we grew up playing soccer, but
Jackson just vomited.
Yeah, another head turbine type of thing. But anyways,
no, that would have been cool to be a junior and be able to do that.
So what do you guys think? I mean, would it be something that really is important in terms of fitness? I mean, I know Paul's, in the desert right now, and that this week's probably been huge for him. Or is it more of a mental and a camaraderie and team building kind of a thing?
Those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a bit of both. I think when we all ride together, we all bring out the
worst.
Worst, but also like best in each other. We all want to compete. We all want to ride hard to hurt one another, and so I think that brings out the fitness side of it. But then we also want to spend time together, get to actually know one another, know one another, because I feel like
because we don't do this enough.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like when was the last time? There's one time that I have been on a trip with anybody on this team, and that was when Paul, and I went to Seattle. That's the only
for
time.
Bike Town.
Yes, and we have now expanded by 2, and so I feel like
doubled.
Almost.
Jack's right now texting us when he's listening to this. He's like, "Hey, you bad worders, don't forget me." So.
Well, and that's why I originally brought up the idea, is because I think that for a team, especially, I think it's really cool to have those opportunities to get to actually like know one another, become friends. I mean, if I'm being really honest, 4 of the 5 of us. Wait, how many are in? 1, 2, 3, 4,
6.
5. Yeah, 6. So 4 of the 6 are in my wedding party.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like getting to know each other would not be a negative.
And you probably want to know the names of the people in your wedding party.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I'm Pat.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you. Where would be like? I mean, if you guys, let's say you had 4 days. Let's not go crazy. We don't have a week. We don't have 5 weeks. If you guys had 4 days, and we're not going to Mallorca, but if you had 4 days where you could say, I want to go to this place, I would, it doesn't necessarily have to be specific, but I want to go to this area or this type of an area. These are the kind of rides I would imagine doing. Like, do you just go out and just do junk miles the entire time? Do you do a mock race? Do you do things like that? And what would be the environment, the ideal environment? Hopefully we all have a different perspective of where it would be.
I think sunshine and tacos.
Oh,
what you need.
okay. Yeah.
So it needs to be warm. You need to be able to get a bunch of tacos afterwards, good tacos. And then you just want, like, I think this is why California, like when Sam came to see me in college, is the best, because you can, if you're sticking to the coast, it's flat. And then you just pick a different climb every single day. So you can do 60, 70, 80 miles with 1 to 2 really big climbs. But you can plan them out so you're not, getting hosed by 10 miles
by your little
climbing
brother.
at the end. Yeah.
Skinny little climber.
And then tacos.
Or he'll won't take you on a
And
dirt.
then tacos.
He'll take you on a
Sunshine
dirt mountain
tacos.
bike climb.
You had me at tacos.
Yeah, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got to that point sometimes where, for example, my spring break, where I'm going like, okay, for example, this year I'm thinking of doing the banana belt of our region. I'm going to start in Lewiston, Idaho, and I'm going to go down to Walla Walla and Hermiston, Oregon, which all tend to be 10 to 20 degrees warmer than it is here.
That the banana belt?
It's the wine growing region primarily, but it's just our climate. Lewiston right now, even though you got to deal with the smell of pulp, because they got pulp mills everywhere. The whole town just stinks. I mean, and if you met somebody from Lewiston, and you say your town stinks, they'd probably be like, yeah, it does. Because it does. It reeks when you drive into it. Yeah. But you get used to it in about 12 hours.
That's a long time to get used to the smell.
Well, so I was going to go there, and I guarantee you there tonight, if it is, I don't have my right watch on, but if it is 35 degrees here, it is 46 there. I mean, it is so weird how much that jump is. And then Walla Walla and stuff like that. I was thinking of doing that, but I always find myself the day before going, oh, well, it's kind of raining in Walla Walla. I'll just train here. And then
because I mean, like, you don't have anything to hold you accountable, right? Like, that's the cool part about like a team training camp, and that's because I think, and I'm like, oh, yeah, well, if we pick a side on the or a day on the west side, and it's like pouring rain, it's like, then you put on your rain gear, and it
Sunshine
sucks.
and tacos. Like, you don't want anything.
Agreeing with your brother.
You don't want anything in the way. Rain. Somebody's gonna bail. You want to go to Arizona or California, you want no rain, you want sunshine.
But
and
for
tacos.
a 4-day training camp,
That's
every
why
single day needs to be sunny.
That's why you pick the right time of year, though. See, I'm thinking like May.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
once you get to May, especially west side, it begins to, rain, but also that's when the 70 days, like 70-degree days, begin to pop up more.
even
and
in
more
April
often.
though.
I was just about to be the negative Nessie about it and say, but you're not going to get the fitness boost. But as we're deciding, it isn't necessarily about the fitness boost, is it?
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it isn't about the fitness boost. It's about, as we said earlier, the just going
it only
someplace.
takes 10
and
days to
acting like
get
a bunch
fitness
of idiots.
boost.
Says you.
No, if you do something right now, you're going to get
back.
that.
I've been trying to
physiologically.
come back into this sport for 9 years.
That's a personal problem.
Last time
That's not-
I had a winning season, Jackson was like
in diapers.
5. And I crushed it that year.
That wasn't even my fault.
No, I didn't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming you. I'm just bitter.
You ruined my life, child.
Yeah. No. So I mean,
And
you
you're
know,
beating me around now.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to do, you know. And,
I mean,
and
but yeah, I just think for accessibility though, like
Yeah.
for us, I mean, something that's like what you're talking about, the banana belt.
we're talking
right? Or
4
going over
days.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you have to think like getting there, getting your stuff, and then you have to get home.
Yeah.
And work the next day.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I don't want to lose a day of my 4 days to travel.
Yeah.
Like if it was over on the west side, we could go over at night, right after work, and then wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and go ride.
And Central Washington makes great tacos.
It's true.
But also,
They do.
like my
One of
idea
the
of
two.
going to the Hood Canal, you've done that ride that I rave about.
There's no tacos there.
That's true. There are no tacos there.
Must have tacos.
Even on a sunny day.
Yeah. Okay. Before we move along, I do want to throw out this out there for everybody that the upcoming spring and summer, we're putting together live shows back into the schedule. I don't know if Sam, you know about the live shows, but pre-COVID, we performed several shows. Jackson, were you ever in any of them?
I was never in any.
You were in
I
college.
attended some of them.
You were in college because
Yeah.
so the live shows are back. So if you've got a suggestion, this is to everybody out there. If you've got a suggestion for a pub, a bike shop, any type of an establishment where you think it'd be fun to maybe start with a bike ride, finish a bike ride, and do a live podcast and have some fun and drink some beer, let us know your idea recommendations to my own personal email. I'm giving it away twice on this show, patrick@packfiller.com. So there we go. For 2023, I decided I'm going to put the news at the tail end of the show because usually we get so far into our topics that the news doesn't really matter because everybody else has the internet. But I do want to start with a big headline in case you guys didn't see. Mark Cavendish has officially signed with freaking Astana.
We knew that, though.
I know, but it's
Like, we knew it
official.
was going to be there.
I was hoping there was like a shred of like, hey, EF first. Or,
be cool.
No.
yeah.
Yeah, he needs the money. Like, because Astana will pay him the money.
Yeah.
But they're one of those teams that's like they take the retired people. I mean, think about
That's
it. Like
Trek
after,
Segafredo.
No, it was.
Yeah, what's
it
the current
was.
retirement team? It's
Israel
Israel
Primatech.
Primatech.
Israel
Israel
Primatech. Yeah,
That's the retirement
But like,
team.
I mean, I would even put Astana into that group because think about
Nibali.
Nibali. Yes,
Yeah.
like
Come to the team. We will make you strong again.
yes,
Yeah.
drugs.
Look that way. Oh, little pokey in your butt. No big deal. If you tell anyone. I was going to make a Mark Cavendish house break-in joke, but I think it's probably too soon for that one.
Yeah,
They found
Well,
a
it'd be too
freaking
soon.
knife to his throat
that's insane.
in his house.
Yeah.
And stole his watches. So get used to that, Mark.
God, he's never going to be on this show. Any kind of thing that you ever brought back with, like, hey, I like Mark Cavendish now.
Mark's like, Mark, would you like to be on the show? No, you told me because he mumbles a lot. But
Yeah,
and he'd probably tell me.
just
It's rough.
He'd probably tell me go straight to hell, and that's well earned. Anybody on a reflection on that? Sam gave kind of one. Will he break the tour stage record this year?
No.
No, Jackson says no.
I don't think he has a lead out train good enough at Astana.
I'm just gonna hope for him, and I'm gonna say the bet. I'm gonna say yeah, because if you think about it, he's got 21 stages, minus all the climbing ones. He's got like 10 shots.
But the thing is, the tour has changed. We no longer have sprinters winning these sprinting stages.
Yeah.
We have Wout van Aert who can win. I don't
Any
know what.
day.
Yeah.
He can win anything. And then
Mountaintop.
we have Tadej Pogacar who's got an explosive sprint on him, and Mark can't really go stage hunting anymore. He needs that lead out train, as we've seen when he raced on the Champs-Elysees last. I don't know if he's
You know that Astana team though is gonna just put everything into like they're gonna be like, well, stage 11.
Quite,
they're just
quite
going to-
literally everything.
Yeah.
Into the aisle, and then it goes into your butt.
I guess my question is, where's the experience coming from?
Yeah.
There is none.
I would love to see it on the Champs.
Yeah.
The last stage, last chance.
In
I
the
thought he might
British
have gotten
national
it the other,
champion.
like, you know, a couple of 2 years ago. Like, it was like, you know, when he was winning all of them, like,
Yeah.
oh man, he might get this.
Yeah.
And he did not.
And then he lost his lead out man.
Yep.
That's where I always go back.
Yep.
Yep.
Michael Morkow.
Is not leaving.
Michael
Quick step.
Morkow's on. Yeah, he's stood out. Quick
Stood
step.
out.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Who's Michael Morkow's been on a podcast? I can't remember what one that is.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's jump to tonight's topic, you guys. Brought to us by our friends at Wahoo Fitness, your home for trainers, computers, monitors, and one of the top training platforms available. By the way, I'm throwing out a prediction right now. If Strava screws this up, Wahoo is waiting in the wings to take over this entire thing. I think dinner's here because my dog's going crazy. I think Wahoo is going to dominate the entire thing. I think they're just like going, okay, we already have computers that connect to the satellite network. Somebody get the satellites on the phone. Let's just make this happen, and then it's going to happen. And the next thing we're gonna be paying them.
Strava's the new MySpace.
Yeah. I like that.
Interesting.
If you ran and speaking of Wahoo, on personal experience, if you ever run into the problem of using a heart rate monitor on multiple platforms simultaneously, for example,
Yes.
if you're on Zwift and you're on your computer and it's all messed up,
Yep.
Wahoo's new heart rate monitor strap will send signals to multiple devices and it will not falter. I have one coming in the mail. I bought it myself because I saw that, because I was just using it and my Whoop strap works well, but I can't pair it to two things. It'll show my heart rate is like way lower than it should be.
Yeah.
And then my scores don't go up and I don't have the validation
Wait, so when we
of
go for
being
rides-
of finishing a workout and being amazing, and it doesn't show that I'm amazing. and I go to bed upset.
And you
Anyway,
wake
Sam,
up at
you were
3
talking,
a.m.
and I panic
thinking about
it.
how-
And I think about how you guys are faster than
So,
me.
like, when we go out for bike rides, you wear the Whoop as your heart rate strap?
I wear both.
That's a little overkill. Why?
Have
Because
you
you're
met
saying
me?
that could connect to the Wahoo?
My Whoop strap can connect to the Wahoo.
It's the accuracy though is very different. I've found.
Okay.
It's accurate for the Whoop app. It's
Yeah.
really accurate
Yeah.
for that. But you can set it on a broadcast setting. And again, I don't think the Whoop can broadcast the two at once as well as a dedicated heart rate strap
Yeah.
does. And so this new one is hopefully going to stream to both. I will let you know. I want to talk about motivation. I don't know about you guys, but this time of year I find myself, the same as David was saying, actually quite motivated. This year, this is the time of year I actually flourish. Jackson's like, I don't want to get on the trainer. I'm like, I got to get ready for next year. You know, it's like a Rocky montage in my mind. It's like, you're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. Yes, I know that's from Karate Kid, but that's a great montage too, where he's working himself through the brackets, trying to get tougher. And the next thing he knows, he's against Johnny, bad Johnny, and Johnny sweeps the knee. That asshole. Anyway, I get really motivated. I'm training. I'm lifting. I'm actually following a diet. Is there a time of year that you guys feel most motivated? Is it spring? Is it summer? Is it this time of year? When is it?
Now.
Because,
like, for me at least, I was watching the Australian Cycling Road Nationals. Seeing, like, warm weather and dudes just hitting it hard, like, just, all out. I was like, man, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Like, that was, and it's coming, right? Because, I mean, we have the Tour Down Under up in a week or something.
No, it started yesterday, silly rabbit. That's my last story.
It wasn't
of the night.
on GCN, though.
The prologue was today, and you do not have a VPN.
I need to fix that.
Yep.
Okay.
So but yeah, it was on.
Yeah. All right. So then Tour Down Under, right?
Yeah.
We get that. Do not bust what it was for me because I obviously need to watch it. Don't you dare.
I was about to say.
Don't you dare.
Before that, I was about to say.
Don't you dare.
It's gonna have to
Okay.
tailor the news tonight. Then
So, I will watch all of like Tour Down Under, and then then soon after is the Spring Classics.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like it's all good stuff to come.
you don't like the classics?
No. I wasn't saying I don't like the classics. What I was saying is, it
Whose
is still
child are you?
What? No, listen. I was gonna say it is. It is still January. And the Tour Down Under is great,
Yeah.
but it's no Paris-Roubaix in April.
No.
So, and that's something that I think I have a tough time with. Sam, you were saying now is your time of motivation. My time of motivation is mid-February to once mid-February where it begins to warm up a teeny little bit. That's when I begin to hit my motivation time. Right now, if I get on the trainer, I'm lucky. I hate this time of year.
How old are you? 24?
3.
23. I wish I was 23.
All right.
I mean, I still do my due diligence. I still get on the trainer. I still train as if I was training in like July of last year, but it's definitely like a motivation of the winter.
Yeah.
It's and especially finding out when I can't race the one race that I was really looking forward to racing.
Yeah.
That also kind of kills things, and so that's why training camps have come up or looking for other races around the state. I've been really trying to search for things, especially now that my motivation is a little bit dampened.
Yeah. You got to sign up for stuff. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps with motivation.
Yeah.
David, when do you have a time of year where you slump?
I
Where it's
definitely
like,
slump.
Oh, brother's flipping you off right now.
Doesn't slump. It's
He
the
doesn't
worst.
slump. Really?
I
mean-
guarantee you, if we all showed up in Palm Desert tomorrow, he would pull us for 80 miles.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm just
I
that
don't know,
amazing.
No, I think I just really haven't hurt in a long time. So it would
See,
feel really good.
he's worse than me. He's like, I just want to hurt real bad.
You guys are really masochistic about this.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, I want to hurt more than you hurt.
Is it? Do you guys associate it with wanting to beat other people, or wanting to beat yourself, or wanting to beat each other?
Each other.
That's it.
I've
I don't-
never been more motivated than like the races where we're racing against each other, and it's like, yeah, I just want to beat him.
I could care less what other people do.
But you're in the same kit. You're in the same
That's
kit.
what the problem
You completely
was.
shoot each other in the foot.
That's the problem.
I mean, I feel like in the end, like we've had multiple races where like we find ourselves in a position where it's like, well, we should probably work this out for a minute. And then we can figure it out at the end. Like we can like
do a
work
little bit
together
more
for
at
a
the
minute,
end. Yeah.
and then we'll figure this out
After the race.
on the last lap.
Yeah.
Should we have known this drama before we put him on the
Yeah,
team?
you should have.
Yeah.
Because Audi made the same mistake.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they saw us like go 1-2 at the Portland Crit
Yeah.
2014. And it was like, they were like, we need your brother. I was like, that's not a good decision. And like, we need your brother. And I was like, okay. And signed on. And then literally, I will not forget, he's up the road at the Tacoma Twilight Crit. And I'm like, no. And I bridge up, just shell myself. And the two of us are going so hard. The Jelly Belly guy who had have this jersey in my, fit studio, he comes up to me at the end. He goes, thanks for the tow. I was like, I mean, I knew what I did,
Wow.
but I was like, he's not beating me.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. Bad tactics, but
But I won't give it in.
What are the ways to keep motivated, to keep you interested? I keep thinking of like, signing up for races like Jackson's doing. I keep thinking of like Zwift competitions. I keep thinking of like
buying a new bike.
That's a good one.
That is.
Are you going to throw that thing on the trainer?
No.
Yeah, right?
No.
Are you going to keep
a
your
good
other
choice.
bike as a trainer bike, though?
For now, it's
Okay.
going to our little brother after.
That's true.
As soon as after it's because I make the transition once a year and put the bike on the trainer once and I take it off once.
Really?
That's it. I will not go back and forth.
So let's say this weekend was dry roads. You would, if you
I
took
would
the
just
bike off,
ride on the trainer.
You would
Same.
ride on
Because
the
I'm
trainer.
in
the
this
same.
mood. I'm in this 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I get to do all this other stuff around
You
that.
could do projects.
Yeah, around the house, spend time with my wife.
I thank you. I have a hard time switching from trainer season to outdoor season and this is going to make me sound like a total weakling, but putting on the kit, finding my shoe covers, finding my arm warmers, leg warmers, and getting all that stuff on. Usually I'm just like going, I could have been halfway through my workout by now.
Yep. I was telling my wife that this weekend. We were going up to
Jackson's shaking his head. We'll get him afterwards.
Yeah, we were going up to cross country skiing. I was just like, I mean, I would people were going out biking because Saturday was beautiful.
It
here.
was gorgeous.
It was.
Yeah. That's
But I
the
was
day
like-
I did 3 hours on the trainer
But I
like
was
an
like,
idiot.
I would not go out and bike ride for an hour and a half or whatever because it's going to take me an hour and a half to get my clothes on and off.
Yeah.
And clean my bike at the end to put it back on the trainer.
Gaining? It's January. What are you gaining?
Yeah. No, I'm.
Me, you're holding
one
on.
thing I agree with you on.
white knuckles. You're holding on. You are trying to
Yeah.
maintain anything you can before age just comes in and slaps you in the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Jackson, what were you going to say? How are you going to just show everything that we're saying is completely wrong?
Riding on the trainer for me, like I always say it's just maintenance. And once I get outside, that's when I really take it serious because I think that's where the results really come from. I've never been a person who takes Zwift races for really any sort of merit. And so I would way rather spend a whole 45 minutes putting on the kit to experience that feeling, that high of being outside for an hour and a half, even if it's cold as hell. You and I have ridden when
We
it's
did.
29 degrees.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Who just bought the newest pair of bib tights?
Well, I did.
You did.
Oh, you did.
I had bought some.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought some Rafa once.
You gonna rock those?
Hey,
here
we're
soon?
gonna
You take your
see
bike off the
weather.
trainer.
Hopefully not.
But I think it's just way more worth it to go outside.
No.
Once you're done, you get back and you're like, wow, I accomplished a physical amount of miles rather than sitting inside when you feel as if you are baking to death in the witch's oven from Hansel and Gretel.
But see, I love that.
Yeah.
And that is what makes you psychotic. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Paul would be proud of you right now, Jackson.
Yeah.
It's
You guys are
uncomfortable.
kindred souls.
It's see,
Yeah,
it's
you
weird
really
how much Paul and I disagree, but yet come together at the end.
You're just
for
Paul,
one loving friendship.
Like
You're just
almost
decades
40
apart.
years ahead.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah.
decades apart. And that's the problem because Paul would be into disc brakes if he was
if
your
he
age.
was your
because
age,
he would.
totally.
Paul was your age. He worked in a bike shop,
and he was
so
all
he
into
was
technology.
and what scares the
Actually,
shit out
Paul
of me.
might not have worked in a bike shop when he was 23. He
Yeah,
might
he
have been.
did.
He might have been working in banquet houses and on his way to his first failed marriage.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What scares the hell out of me though is someday
Practice marriage.
someday when we don't have spokes or brakes on our bikes, I'm gonna be like, nope,
That's
stick with the disc brakes.
Yeah.
And
Go
so
on.
that's my future.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Palm Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson, Palm Desert blew up in the war. I'm going then to Seattle because it's now a warm climate there.
I'm going to North Canada.
Yeah.
It's the new Palm Desert.
Exactly. I've been on and off, and I put that into quotations, a cyclist since 1983. And I sometimes sit back and think about why I keep going, why this simple activity of hopping on something that I learned as a child and I keep doing. David, you said you've been at it for 8 years. Sam, how many years if you had to roughly pick?
Probably.
Are you
I mean,
same amount?
just barely longer than
Just
maybe
barely
10.
longer. Yeah, Jackson, I mean, I had you on the back of a tandem when you were
Been around bikes
7.
for a while.
But we see a decline in this country in terms of activities. Before COVID, everybody was buying bikes, and now they're all throwing them away, kind of a thing, because our country has this horrible attention span, and it happened all across the world. Hence our the cycling industry shortage. But what keeps it going? What keeps you guys? I mean, the classic Paul phrase: next year, next year, next year, next year. But oh my God, I mean, what keeps us all going? Why do we keep doing this? It can't be the racing. It can't, because there aren't enough races anymore. Mm-hmm. We probably straddle the top tube 10, 15 times a year, if that's a good year, right? On the road.
Competitively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what keeps us going? Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Let's be honest. In the grand scheme of things, we're not making any money off of it. If anything, it's the opposite. We're spending a shit ton of money on it. I mean, I'm sitting here in a studio, and somebody asked me about how much money podcasting makes, and I said, I will never break even with how much money I put into this studio out of my own time over, I started this podcast in 99. So, I mean, in 24 years, I will never make my money back. Let's be honest. So why do we keep doing it?
I'll just jump out to you guys can think about your answers, but I'll say it's therapeutic. Yeah. Which, I would be interested to hear your perspective on it, because you got into it from my view because, you had gone through a breakup and you, needed an outlet. The dude hopped on a bike, and then it was just, all game over from there. And for me, that was kind of, it was just my outlet when I was over in school, right? Yeah. It was, a time for me to decompress. And so that's always been it. And then I found super cool community, a number of times I talk to people, I'm like, we should go for a bike ride. And they're like, oh, no, I can't keep up with you. I'm like,
oh, I hate that.
I know. I'm like, dude, I can ride fast, but also I can ride slow.
Yeah.
I just want to be out on a bike with friends. It's just a fun event, right? And you're out getting fresh air. And it's just something that brings you back to the childhood of riding your bike.
Yeah.
I used to get it all around the South Hill, for people not here, just where we live within a 5-mile radius on my bike when I was a kid. And so it's just a super cool therapeutic way to connect with the community for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it's always going to stay for me. And that's what keeps me going with it. It has nothing to do with results from races or any of that. That's fun.
And ever notice that those, I'm going to pick on them, the people who are those results-oriented folks are the ones who tend to either disappear or get divorced or both.
In school, we literally learned about that. People who are focused on results last 6 years on average in a sport.
Really?
People who play it for a lifetime are focused on just enjoyment of the sport or self-progression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think when I started, it's an outlet, right? It's it's a safe space to think whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you're thinking, you're riding a bike. There's nothing you can really do about it. Like it's very safe space.
Yeah.
Like however
Yeah.
dark or pleasant it is, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I find myself like doing anything on a bike from like thinking about tough patients to like literally planning out a remodel in my house.
Yeah.
Like I will like ride a bike and virtually be doing something else. And in the end, like I can't blow a bunch of money on the remodel of the house, which my wife loves, but I plan it in my head.
Yeah.
And I can think about all these difficult experiences at work and nothing bad. Like it's a safe space to just be by yourself essentially. And
Yeah.
then when you need it, you can do it with people as well.
Okay. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean,
Yeah,
I
nailed it.
spent my entire junior career training 99% by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack's gonna contest that, but that's not true because Jack and I did ride together a lot, but a lot of my training was solo, and it was in my own head. I was in my own little world.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Nobody can see you cry on a bike.
Especially with the big glasses.
Yeah, you put on this. Why do you think the glasses got bigger?
Yeah.
Why do you think- because nobody can see
more
you crying.
tears.
Yeah.
I had Oakley.
Life got
I had Oakley
harder.
factory pilots back then.
Oh.
Man, they were huge.
Yeah.
But it is like, I mean, like even in my field, like people exactly what David's saying. Like, man, the patients he has to deal with is
Yeah.
way harder.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But even in my field, I think like there's times when you should just go and like just unload all your frustrations
Yeah.
on the bike, and you come here like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What did you have, Jackson?
Man, I got a weird brain, I'll tell you what. So I have I'm gonna be honest, and you guys could fight me till the day I die on this, and that's what makes me the most competitive person in this room.
Game on.
See? I promise you right now. I don't talk about it quite often.
It's time for the old Pat to come back.
See,
Bury all you fuckers.
see.
See, I said it. That was, I
That's
think,
two.
my
That
third.
is your two.
What did I
Was
say?
that? Was that two?
I think that's two.
I think that's two.
Well, now I'm pissed.
I have a.
My son just slapped me with a glove. White
know.
glove.
Yeah. But I think this is another range where Paul and I have something in common, is that I love the competition. That is something that really, really drives me. Is to, weird enough, I love to win. That is something that I have come to realize in the past year, is that I love that feeling of competing to be the first.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes live for the results, but I also, I think that's something that I've lost, that I consistently lose during my winter training, is that I don't have that competition anymore. I'm just riding with myself. I mean, when I'm riding by myself outside and I see a person in front of me, I think I have to beat that person. I have to come over and pass them as fast as I can. However, when the outside time comes, and this is why I think I harp so heavily on outside training over indoor training, is that I gain that camaraderie part of it that I also know that I live for. Because when I came from the previous sport that I came from, everybody was against each other. There was not a single person that you liked because they were in your way of your position. Now, I come from a place where we all get to ride together and we all get to have fun together, and I don't have to worry about beating everybody, because nobody at the end of the day is going to go, you didn't beat me, so you're less of a person. And so I think that there is a high competitive edge for me that attracts me to this sport.
But I don't think that ruins your attitude for it. Like some
Exactly,
people that are
yeah.
like just like, well, I lost, so I hate this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
that's the attitude where you get caught up in the results.
Yeah.
You're competitive, but like my wife's competitive at soccer, but she's always going to be a soccer player.
Right, and I
You
think
know.
that's what keeps me coming back, is that, like, for instance, when I last year got second, I think I've brought this up before, but old me would have been like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore because I lost. But now it's like, I want to come back, as Paul says, next year and be the one to be first. I always want to come back and get that same feeling.
So you're not focused. I mean, like, that's why I would wrap this up with, like, you're not focused on results. You are focused on progression.
Right.
Results are a part of it, but you're like, oh, well, I got second, so now I want first.
And that's, I think,
know.
when you mentioned self-progression as an important part of it, is that I think there is, like you said, that self-progression point where I would love to consistently get there, but it's not the end-all be-all.
Totally.
Having you guys around, and another reason as to why I brought that up the training camp, is because having you guys around is what keeps me going, too.
Yeah.
And not to put too much pressure on you guys. You guys aren't my mental crutch for anything, but
That's my job.
yeah, I think that
It's needing you guys as a mental
yeah.
crutch. I don't mean like I'm
This
his
is your
mental crutch.
This is
This is my
Yeah.
therapy,
this
man.
is your therapy.
yeah, sorry. Whoa, that got a little deep, but
No.
that's
No,
what keeps me
you're fine.
motivated.
Yeah.
Sorry, we all need to take
End
a
of the
collective breath
podcast?
after
No,
that.
I was just thinking of a joke, but
See you guys
it
next Tuesday.
would have been a bad joke, so I'm not going to say it.
that was great answers all
right?
around.
Right? Let's have some fun at the expense of our newest panel member, you guys. It's time for Ask Dr. David on the Packfiller podcast. This segment, by the way, is open for future sponsorships if someone wishes to play along. Jackson was kind enough in social media to put out the request for questions for David here. And I have a list of questions, but I'm only going to pick one or two of them here because I have a feeling that they're going to be fairly in depth in terms of the response. And I think that Sam, you have experience in the industry. I don't want to belittle and put the brother against brother or something like that. It's like going, hey, you got a degree in law and you're a theater major. 'Cause
Let me tell you, it doesn't do that much.
it doesn't. Actually, what's the difference? Really, they're both full of bullshit.
That's a good point.
But what I want to do is I want to pose the question, and then I want to from our wonderful listeners, but before David gets to answer, I want the rest of us to try to figure out what we think the right answer is, and they're all related to the world of cycling.
And then we all
cyclists.
get look stupid.
Exactly.
I
Or
love
we
that.
could be right. We could
Yeah.
be just like, hey, look, I got the right answer. I'm going to open a practice.
I got to be in biology,
Yeah.
so I got to be somewhat
Yeah.
close.
I was pre-med for about a year and a half.
Oh, you're totally qualified for this.
No, I'm screwed because then I switched to theater.
You only need a C for a degree.
Where I went to school, you only needed a D, so
Well, and you got a B, so.
yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
way ahead of the game.
Oh yeah.
Should I start with the elephant in the room and on the one on the table? The question is how do ketones in a bottle work, and should I buy them?
This was not.
God, this
We
was,
happen to have
you all thought I was kidding.
we happen to have ketones.
Who brought the ketone?
Who
brought
understands
the
what
drugs?
And is
ketones
there
are?
some medical cabinet with a keyboard, not a keyboard, a clipboard that is missing some of its inventory?
God, this is like
It's a
does-
glass
All I
bottle.
hear
Okay,
is,
I'm serious though. Let's ask the question what a ketone is.
Yeah, I know of ketosis, and I know of the
I know of
keto diet,
ketosis.
and I know that kind of ketones. Because you ready for this? I watched Limitless with Chris Hemsworth last
Yeah.
night, and he was doing a fast, and he was talking, and they were talking about ketones being this alternative fuel. And David can tell me if I'm full of absolute bullshit when it's all said and done, but that your body can actually rely on a source of fuel within your fat stores to power you
Yes.
rather than directly going to your glucose stores. I don't know. I'm making shit up.
And I'm gonna then also add, but those stores are not as fast responding or high energy yield. You can correct us with all of this.
So is this the equivalent of the electric car version of what would? Okay, so hear me out. Just before you stop me. Is this like an electric car as opposed to like fossil fuels?
Because
Yeah.
David can't say anything.
No,
I'm
I think
holding
he's
my,
actually on
I think
something.
you're on to
I'm
something.
holding in my
See, if
hand
I
a
just keep
bottle
talking.
that
Wow.
says
Yeah.
supplement
Be in biology.
If I just keep talking, I'll eventually get there.
supplement facts: 140 calories, 4 grams of carb, 3 grams of sugar, and ketone ester, 25 grams with a cool little SS thing next to it. Daily value not established. That's scary. The ingredients: purified water, blueberry juice. Ooh, blueberry. Stevia leaf extract, natural filters, and citric acid. This is starting to sound more and more like bullshit in a
We're
bottle. to me.
totally gonna take this before one of our rides.
So this is
Yeah,
like-
we can't
all
drink
of
it
us.
tonight,
This
right?
is
No.
like legal, right?
Oh, it's totally legal.
Yeah.
Totally
Wait,
legal.
So where did you get these?
what they all say.
And how much were they?
They're
'Cause this
crazy
stuff's
expensive.
expensive,
You
isn't it?
should look this up.
Some guy in a truck.
Yeah, we should look this up. This is expensive. This
Really?
is not. Vegan Cyclist talks about using this stuff.
So
why-
you Sam, you brought them?
Yep. I brought them.
Did you purchase
Nope,
them yourself?
I did not. I was
Okay.
given them because the person tried them and was like, "This tastes like garbage," and they're like, always buy these types of,
they
this
say
is
that
an
about heroin.
advantage. Yeah, I know.
Natural flavors, natural garbage flavors.
Exactly. They're just like, oh, these are actually not good.
Oh,
I'm like,
I looked
yeah.
it up and as AG, but it's Delta G.
Dang.
Delta G
That ain't
ketone
cheap.
performances. $85 for a pack of 3 bottles.
All right, everybody put them back in. We're selling this shit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
For a 40% markup.
For a 40% markup.
We're gonna get David some better bars.
Yeah.
What is our real answer? Because I really want to know.
How do they work, and should I buy them? I am going to say my full of shit perspective is going to be that I think it works as a almost like a carb supplement, where it basically is like it's just some sort of a silly recovery drink that costs $85. And in actuality, I could either probably have a beer with the proper carbs, or I could just probably go to Scratch. Damn it!
There we go.
And just drink their recovery beverage. That's my philosophy.
Okay. I am never going to use it. So I don't. I mean, it could
Dude,
work.
we're all doing this.
It could work.
We're all doing this. It's like
Because we got
this
it.
is-
We're all sharing the
I
needle.
want you to think about like
Come on,
whatever-
man. Everybody's doing it. All the
I
cool
want
kids
you
are
to think
doing
like
it.
The Hangover. This is our next bike ride.
Well, I think that it has some science behind it, obviously, but I don't know if I will personally use it. That's where I'll leave it.
Sorry.
Okay, but the point is, how do they work, and should you buy them? So I'm
See,
going to
I
say
don't have either answer.
you should not buy them. I'm saying you should not buy them. I'm going to say they work like a carb drink.
I'll ditto to that.
See, you just cop out.
But the thing is, what real answer am I going to have?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it doesn't do jack, and like it's literally just a marketing scheme, because I think that like their whole thing is it keeps you in ketosis, which doesn't make any freaking sense in my world.
Okay, so I need,
Dr.
I
Dave?
need some sort of I don't have.
What is
anything.
ketone?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I have a lot of thoughts. All right, so I mean, first of all, ketosis is a backup energy source for your body. So
I was right.
when you run out of glucose, your body will take fatty acids and convert them into ketones like acetone or beta hydroxybutyrate.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Fucking sounds cool. That was 3.
That's
And in turn, you can use those to produce ATP. Like in the end, this is all about ATP, right? Like ATP is what does things. Do you guys remember it from biology?
I don't know what
He got a B.
Adenosine triphosphate.
yeah.
Or whatever.
Okay.
But ATP
Totally.
is like that's what actually does work at the cellular level. So glucose, per glucose molecule, I think this is taking me way back, but I'm pretty sure it's like 36 to 38 ATP per 1 glucose, whereas a ketone molecule is like 22, somewhere in that range. Is less is the important thing here. So it's a backup for when you run out of glucose.
Okay.
You can produce ATP that keeps your brain alive. So this is why we have ketosis as a function in the body. I will tell you, as a physician, I put people in the ICU all the time when they are in diabetic ketoacidosis, as in they have too many ketones and not enough insulin, and they're diabetic.
What?
that broke Pat.
Probably most of us aren't diabetic, though, so
Okay.
it's probably fine.
Ketoacidosis,
But-
ketosis.
ketones.
That's a
Yeah.
lot
So,
of words.
I mean, so here's the thing: it's a backup fuel storage or source. So you have to be out of
Glucose.
in order to start functioning on ketosis, because it is less efficient than using glucose.
And yeah, you have to be out for a certain amount of time, right? Like if I take in glucose, like if I drink some of this beer after I've been fasting for 12 hours, my body's going to process this before it breaks that ketosis.
So you have to fast for like 12 plus hours before your ketones go up in your body.
Okay.
Which right off the
No, that's
bat,
what I've been doing. I've been doing a 16
really?
hour. I've been stopping eating at 8 p.m. and I start eating.
You
eating
need
at
this
noon the next
more
day.
than anybody.
and you might be getting like a small level of ketosis. But here's the thing that's crazy in here: 3 grams of sugar, immediately your body will preferentially use the sugar over the ketones in here.
so it immediately
there-
takes you out of ketosis.
Well, like for the people that are doing the ketosis diet, what is the thing that people do? Like they want to be in ketosis all the time.
Intermittent fasting or
No,
the
no, the
keto
No,
diet.
keto-
The
yeah, the keto diet,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Any amount of sugar will break the ketosis because it takes a long time to get in, and it takes 1 gram of sugar or the smell of a Jolly Rancher to get you out.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's just
So, yeah.
oh god,
And
Sweet
you're-
glucose.
Wait, what?
And
This
now
is
you're
bad
at
for me.
ketosis.
Yeah.
So the idea though is that like ketosis, you have a lot of fat in your body, and so you can break down fat and make ketones at a very steady rate and get a certain amount of energy. And so it's like I would think of it as more like a diesel. Like that's why I kind of liked your analogy
yeah.
of like electric versus
Yeah,
gas.
yeah.
But this is just like it's not going to give you. You're not going to win a sprint on ketones. You're going to win a sprint on glucose.
Mm-hmm.
But you might be able to like, if you could get into ketosis and feel good while you were doing it, you might be able to do a really long 100-mile bike ride in ketosis if you had enough. fat
18
storage.
miles an hour all darn day.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know if drinking a bunch of ketones allows you to use the ketones for ATP production is the thing. Because we're all going to be pounding gels. We're all going to be
Let's
drinking
freaking go.
electrolyte mixes. And
This is the next team
for,
ride.
what is this, $80 for 3? So like, holy
that's
crap. That's a lot of
crazy.
money.
And she bought 2 of those.
Well,
That's a keg
It's
here in the
$160.
studio. I just want you guys to know.
$100
That's a full
probably after
keg.
tax.
Yeah. Wow.
All in all, what I'm saying is, yeah, it's a different way to get ATP, but if you are also consuming this with gels and bars and electrolyte mix, you're probably going to preferentially use that before you use any of this. And I don't know that it's actually going to do anything for you. But you're going to drink a
Answer
$30
salt.
drink.
Wow.
there we go.
We all the more you know.
But I will also say that
Cool bottle.
there's I've seen a lot of like trivial data out there where they like have somebody drink it and they're like, oh, my FTP went up by like from like 300 to 310. But
Are you making fun of me from my whole drinking thing?
Did you do
My not
this?
drinking? No, I just had been talking about that the entire time. It's like my whoop score and shit. Sorry, I'm sensitive.
Well, that's like anecdotal data is not data. So you need to like
Yeah.
have a randomized control. That's in my world, we need randomized controlled trials to say anything. And I haven't seen anything with these delta G powered Oxford ketone esters
Yeah.
to say that using this versus a placebo is better. So
Yeah.
So in other
I
words,
wouldn't waste your money.
it's
Is my opinion.
$85 paint thinner.
No.
That's a very good way of putting it.
$85 pay thinner, and the other thing is, don't train with things you're not gonna. Don't race with things you're not training with. Are you
Totally.
gonna drink this
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single ride?
Yeah.
If so,
If-
subscribe to
gotta
the
Just
Just
podcast.
buy a motor and hide it in your bike.
Yeah, yeah.
because you got the money for that.
Wow.
So
How much time do I got? No, we don't have enough time. We got through one question with Dr. Dave.
Okay.
I think that was a good one. I actually think that was a
Yeah.
really good one. I have a lot more. So you're screwed. You got to come back on the show consistently. We do have to. Do you have a quick tips?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because we got to mention quick tips with Bike Fit Sam, brought to us by our friends at Ambassador Cycling, ambassadorcycling.com. Everybody get fit to get fit. Go for it. Tell us what you got, Chief.
So, I've had a couple scenarios with people who have knee drop, and that's, where like they'll be pedaling and at the bottom of the pedal stroke, their knee comes in. Right?
Ew.
Yeah. And so it's like what we call as genuvalgus, genuvarum. So
Really? You have a name for it?
Yeah,
I always,
in the
I always
PT
thought,
world.
dude, your saddle's too high and that's gross.
Yeah,
because
but
it
in the
looks like when
it looks like
the
the French,
kids do
right?
their elbows.
Yes.
They rotate them out and they're like, "Look at what I can do." And
Right.
you're like,
But like, look at the French. Like, look at Thibaut Pinot ride, and like they ride with their knees coming in.
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's more anyway. So like, it was not fished out with your typical like bike fit, very basics, right? Like getting pedal stance width, all that stuff.
Sure.
It actually was arch support. They had a collapsing arch, and so what that meant was that we had to support up their arches so that when they were at the bottom of the pedal stroke where their foot is flattening, it wasn't fully flattening, allowing for their knees to collapse in.
Oh, wow.
So if you have like arch pain or knee pain like that, there's some really cool tools that Retool has. Actually, I'm going to just plug them because they're the best in the business with it. And or there's some really cool local, like I think Fleet Feet is everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
It's not just in Spokane. Yeah, to my knowledge.
I don't know they're regional at least. Yeah.
So they do like, these gait analysis that will tell you, your arch drop and all that. And you can get some arch supports that will fill up the shoe space and take care of that pain.
And it does. I have a super high arch.
So
And is as minuscule as it is, Giro does come with 3 different arch alterations in their shoes.
You didn't bring that in.
Well, I have the highest one already in.
You didn't bring that in. You didn't show me that.
Yeah, it's
That's
a really
cool.
cool design. And
That's really cool.
In my current road shoes, I have my ancient ski boot custom footbeds in the shoe because I haven't skied in a while, so I'm like I slide them in and they fit in my cycling shoe. I've worn them in this. They got to be gross by now because I've had them in my cycling shoes for probably longer than Jax has been alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's really disgusting. Now that I think about it.
23 years.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes I realize I
wrong
shouldn't
with that?
share stuff on the show.
Well,
Nobody's gonna steal my shoes. I guess.
No, those are weird.
because you'll be able to smell them.
Yeah, coming and going. So let's end our show with the final K, the final question. Can you see how I did that? KWS. I'm good at that. What is, in your opinion, gentlemen, the coolest kit in the 2023 Peloton and why? Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to look at the new kits coming out in the new pro season, men's or women's. I'll allow either. And why you think. Now, I will go first to allow you guys a second to think about it, and I can't believe I'm going to pick anything resembling a blue kit because it seems like the entire pro Peloton is blue this year. And I can't believe I'm going to pick this team, but I am going to go with Israel Premier Tech. I love the look of the jersey.
Yeah, the tie-dye-ish,
It's
like
kinda,
pink and blue.
It looks like you accidentally put your white clothes in the wash with some jeans and a red shirt.
It kind of reminds me of Canyon in the last couple of years, like the Canyon women's team.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Right? I don't know.
There's a guy online, I think it's Stickle Design, who does this stuff. He's on Instagram. It's a cool account to follow because he did that design kit. And he also reworks and rethinks current pro teams. And occasionally his Instagram will show up, and they're just really cool designs. But anyway, that's who I'm going to pick. And I can't believe I'm going to say that team because it's blue. Jax, you want to go?
Well, I don't think it's any surprise. I'm going to pick the EF education
thought you
kit.
would.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Now, did you notice that the socks have to be worn very specifically? That
They do?
riders are screwing up the socks.
Because they split that back.
One's dark,
Yeah.
one's lighter, and they're wearing them on the opposite feet.
I love the whole kit, including the helmet. I think that they even included it on the helmet because I feel like a lot of teams would specifically go one block color helmet. But then they also kind of transition that interesting color blocking into the bike as well, which I think is a really nice touch because a lot of teams are going black bikes or...
I'm so sick of flat, matte black bikes. What color is your time going to be? Black and white. Son of a black and white.
And that's what I think is interesting. They chose a silver, a pink, and a white. And I thought that was a lot of fun that they chose a cool color scheme for the bike as well.
Before I continue, is Richard Carapaz's jersey gold enough?
I think the gold hints are kind of cool here and there.
I think he should have more gold.
But
I
I
would
think,
be gold tip to tail.
Yeah.
but gold and pink do not look the best together. So
No,
he should
gold
look-
tip to tail.
He should
Yeah.
look like a character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm talking face paint, too. I mean, just spray the dude down.
Yeah.
You won the Olympic gold medal, man.
Yeah.
I
And you only
the
get that for a
shorts.
certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it is longer than the world champion. But.
Yeah, that is true. Sam, best kit.
So I have to admit, I haven't seen many of the new kits. I actually was just watching on all the new bikes. So I'm going to relate it off of that. First coolest one was Astana actually had. Have you seen their bike?
That's
pretty.
crazy.
They are pretty.
Crazy,
Yeah.
beautiful. Like
I keep
ice
mispronouncing
looking.
it. Is Villiers?
Villiers.
Villiers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also Jumbo Visma. It's so clean.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of simple.
Keeping it clean. That's
Keeping
why I
it
was
clean.
almost going to pick Trek Segafredo because I like the simple design
It's
of
the
that
simple,
kit.
clean design. It's just like, it takes me back to like the old days, you know,
Yeah.
like these types of jerseys and stuff
Sure.
that are
Yeah.
up on your wall. It's just, they're awesome jerseys.
No
It's just clean, no BS.
no
like,
crossfades.
No.
None of that stuff.
Yeah.
None of that hippie tie-dye shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
David, did Jackson take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm trying to like come up with a backup, but like I really just I've always liked EFs.
Yeah.
They've always done a good job.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like their Vuelta, like how they've
Yeah.
always like done cool different ones, you know.
Giro.
Or the Giro.
Yeah, the Giro. Yeah, they and I applaud them for having the balls to just go funky. you
Yeah,
know?
it's like,
yeah.
oh, you want $80,000 for the fine of this? Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, let's be honest, the sport is about being seen, and I mean, even starting with the Argyle that they did way back when in the Garmin
Yeah.
Sharp days,
Yeah.
all the way to now where they're just going bright, bold, bang in your face. I mean, I don't know if I would ride around town in a fully pink kit, fully pink helmet, and all that kind of
Right.
stuff, but because I don't necessarily want people to see me, let alone I won't wear day glow like that.
That Viagra jersey is a good jersey.
What?
You should wear that.
That one? You should. It's a little big.
It is a little big.
Tis. That's beyond simply huge.
Can I add an honorable mention to FDJ?
I was good. That was going to be
They
my second choice. It's another blue kit.
It is, but
yeah.
they deserve this because their old kit was hellish.
atrocious.
So I'm happy that they changed it to a kind of navy red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks good. Oh, well, there we go. You guys, look at that. We just finished another show. I apparently did not write any closing notes because I can't go away from the teleprompter. So I don't know what I'm going to say next. David, man, thanks for coming on.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
He was just here for the
The beer.
the
The
beer,
beer,
the
yeah.
beer and the ketones.
Yep.
Yeah. I really wanted to get the erectile dysfunction question.
Well, that's what's going to be the other one I was going to get to, cycling and ED. So maybe that will.
Hey,
we'll
next
either
to
do that.
come.
Yep,
Or
next
or
time.
we could just, if you can't make it, your brother can have a recorder and you guys can have a drink,
Yep.
pre-record it, and we'll just play it during a midsection of the show while somebody has to take a piss or fill a beer.
That'd be great.
Sounds
We
great.
could do that
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
can't make it, and then you guys will end up fighting halfway through it. and we'll
Yeah,
lose all
you'll
our
just hear a
F-bombs.
bunch of F-bombs.
Yeah, I
B
kill you,
words and
mom, like me best.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Go to hell, I never
Be
liked
chaos.
you. Why do we share the same room?
They still do, by the way, in case anybody's wondering.
Yep.
Yep.
Still.
All right, you guys, that does us for another one. I can't believe the time goes by way too fast because I can't because we don't know how to shut up. But what are we taking away from this? I think it's plan a ride with your friends, plan a trip, a weekend if you can with your team or your friends or just complete strangers, and don't do ketones. Right, David?
Well, unless you want to burn some money for nothing.
There you go. If you buy Packfiller kits, then
Yeah, there you go.
talk to you next week.